After managing over 100 LinkedIn accounts, making over 3 million in revenue for my clients, I've discovered there are only 5 LinkedIn posts that you need to be using to get leads and inbound calls booked for your business. You don't need fancy content. This pretty much works for anything in the B2B niche. You just need to use these 5 post types. And after using them myself, we're consistently booking in 15 to 30 calls on our client profiles every single month. So let me show you the very first post type that builds instant credibility, and it's the social proof post type. Now, the social proof post type is so important because without it, you really cannot expect to sign any sort of client on LinkedIn. Now, the reason why is when someone goes across your profile and they see that you're posting social proof content, i.e. proving that you're able to get a result for something, they are bought into that idea because they think they can come to you and then they can buy from you to get that outcome. And what's really important to note here is that people are not buying services or they're not buying deliverables, they're buying an outcome. So it's incredibly important that you have these posts that communicate that you do get an outcome for your clients, whether it's I help grow someone's email marketing revenue, or I help someone get secured for a loan, or whatever the service is that you sell. Now, when you're doing a social proof post, you're instantly building credibility. You're teaching the market that you're really good at what you do, and you're showing competency and you're building authority. These are the 3 really important things that you need in order to get results on LinkedIn with this post type. Now, I'm going to show you some examples, but just before I do, I want you to notice and look out for one thing. I want you to look out for how we show and we don't tell. I'm going to show you the first profile here. This is Michael Galvin. Michael is an email marketer. He runs an agency. Now, Michael does a lot of posts on LinkedIn, but one of his best post types is this one over here. And he almost always uses this hook that talks about how these emails that he's designed are really killing it and are doing awesome results for his clients. Now, I don't really care too much about the copy right now, but look at this. Every single post he does when he talks about the emails he's designed, he's always showing off the post and he's showing off the emails. So even though he's not speaking about the end KPI result, which for him in this case would be making more email revenue, he's showing the work in progress. He's showing him creating the emails that get to the end outcome. Now, for some clients and for some prospects, this is really valuable because it shows them that he actually does the work. So a social proof post doesn't have to be, hey, I got this result. It could be, hey, here's me building out the work and here's the proof of work in order to get to the result at the end point, which basically means anyone doing any sort of good work can be putting a social proof post out in the market. Now, the next type of social proof post I'm going to show you by my co-founder Paolo. So this is Paolo's profile over here. Paolo and I help other agencies, other coaches, other consultants book in a lot of calls from LinkedIn. So one of the post types that we do is a social proof post again, but it's more than a proof of work or showing us doing the work. It's actually us showing the result, but not as a full blown out case study. So for example, Paolo said, I booked 10 calls in the last 20 days of posting. All we did was this. This was a consultancy business. We'll send you when it's done. And there's a screenshot of us talking about how he booked in calls. Now, what's clear here is that this is not a full blown out case study. This is almost us just going into Slack, grabbing a screenshot from one of our client success channels in that week and just showing it off on LinkedIn. Now, again, what this means is you don't have to overthink your social proof posts. You just need to collect any wins that you've had this week in your business, in your agency, in your coaching, in your consulting, screenshot it and just put a post on LinkedIn about how you got that result, because that counts as social proof. And in my eyes, this is an awesome version of a micro case study. Now, when you're ready, however, you can just do a social proof that completely obliterates the market and is much more in depth and much more formalized. And what we do here is a social proof post that just shows off the KPI. So Paolo's post here is I booked 124 inbound meetings in 60 days, duplicate the exact steps, and we go through all the steps. And again, right at the end, we show a screenshot of us actually getting that result. So it's long form in the sense that we teach people how we do the work, i.e. if someone else wants to get the result, they can look at what we did to get the result, which really helps us sign clients. But also we're showing that we actually do the work and we actually get the result. So if you think about all the post types, and I told you at the beginning, look out for one thing. I said, look out for showing, not telling. In all these social proof posts, whether it was Michael's or Paolo's, we were always showing the result, or the client was always showing the result. Whether it was Michael's profile or Paolo's, all the posts had some sort of proof that we showed that we actually got the result with a screenshot. Now, this is a really important fact. In a world where anyone can say anything and where AI is running rampant, the people that win are the people that showcase their results authentically and truthfully. And we do that by backing up whatever sort of claim we make with a screenshot. Now that screenshot adds so much more authenticity and makes us so much more believable to our prospect when they look at our profile. So if the first social proof post type was designed to build competency, build authority, and make sure that we're trusted in the market, the second post type is to build market attention. Now I call this the trending post, and it's trending because you're trying to tap into a feeling that the market has but maybe isn't saying out loud. So there are two types of ways to tap into this emotion. Either you agree with something that everyone believes but no one's really saying, or you disagree with it, you go contrarian and you make a stand in the sand. Now what I mean by this is you can either be positive about something or you can be negative about something, and I'm going to show you a couple examples of what that looks like. So for example, Paolo and I have a philosophy that we should never be really posting for likes, we should only be posting for clients. So we have a philosophy, we stand by it, and we put this out into the market. And we do this quite often because we want to do two things here. One, we want everyone to understand what we stand for, but two, we're tapping into a market feeling that they know that when they post and they get likes, they don't actually get clients. And people are seeing this, but they're not really saying it out loud or as much as we think they should be. So when we do this post type, we generally get good engagement, we get good results, and it's because we're tapping into the trending post type. Now, on the other hand, instead of agreeing what the market feels, now Chris Walker does this really well. He speaks a lot about marketing measurement and attribution. So Chris Walker is a B2B go-to-market leader. Now, a lot of his posts basically say that the B2B SaaS playbook is wrong. And so he actually opens most of his posts saying, this is all going wrong. This is the better way to do it. The whole market's broken, blah, blah, blah. Now, this contrarian feeling is a trending post type because it firstly taps into something that people believe, but it also riles up a lot of people that are like, hey, no, I'm actually making money using this strategy. So what this again is doing is he's putting a line in the sand. He's saying he stands for something, and he's doing this to capture market attention. Now he's worked out that when he says this, he gets a lot of attention from his ICP and from other people in the market. So if the first post type built competency, the second post type built attention, the third will build our expertise, and we do this with the education post type. Now the education post type is when we teach the market how to do something in a certain way. So we're giving them strategies, we're giving them listicles, we're giving them how-to guides, we're telling them the X-best tools. Now when you do a really good education post, you get a lot of attention because a lot of people can access it, they can learn from it, which is the main reason why people are scrolling on LinkedIn, but also it helps people realize that, hey, this guy really knows what he's doing, therefore maybe I should pay some more attention to him, maybe I should follow him. So I'm going to show you a couple of these winning formats. So the very first one is from Paolo again, my co-founder. So this is a content that says how to ensure your LinkedIn content gets you new clients. So the typical thing that happens when you do education posts is you're always more or less saying how to or how I. Now, when you open a post on how to and how I, you're basically saying, I'm about to show you or give you the playbook or teach you how to do something. So an education post type is almost always given away by that hook, how to or how I. So in this post, we're teaching the market how to ensure our LinkedIn content gets new clients. And we teach them by being really clear about who we speak to in our hooks, and it works really, really well. Now, a profile that does the education post type really well is Michelle. Now, Michelle is this founder and CEO of Cold IQ. It's like a sales cold email agency, and they do a post type that almost always bangs, and it's the X best. Okay, I've just literally scrolled and I've just seen it almost straight away. It's like X best sales tools. So he does this quite a lot. He basically walks through a bunch of sales tools and then typically gives it away in a carousel. And so these work really well because it shows to the market he understands all the sales tools, he knows how to use them, he knows how they integrate, and he's on top of things. Like, this is the place you go to keep on top of sales tools and can keep on top of tech. And that's a really good way because a lot of people want to buy into the newest and latest lead gen strategies. So it really feeds well into his profile. And you can just see all the sales tech he uses as well. And finally, here's a post that I did, which actually combines social proof with an education post. And I think it's important to show you because these post types aren't exactly strict to their definitions. You can start to blend them together. So in this hook, I said we booked 30 calls and closed 10K MRR in 2 weeks for a B2B agency, all using lead magnets. 3 key factors. So it opens up with social proof by actually saying a micro case study, just literally saying a line about how we got some awesome results. And then I go into teaching the market how we got that result. And so effectively, this hook could have been said how to do lead magnets. It's the same thing, except I open with social proof. Now, if you look at the post, it's much longer than the first how-to post I showed you. We have a point, and we teach the market how to do things. We have another point, we teach, another point, we teach, and so forth. Now what we do here is by creating a long style post that educates, we can really get into the details and the nuances, and we can start to call out people that we think would resonate in that post. So this type of post works really, really well, generally gets decent engagement as well. So in this video, I've shown you how to show competency, capture attention, show expertise. We also need to create connection. Now, what I mean by that is we need to make you look like a real person on LinkedIn, not a robot always posting X best sales tools or X best things to do. The way we do that is we use the personal post type. Now, personal post types sometimes get a bit of a bad rep on LinkedIn because they're over dramatized. And the thing is, as people, we love to see contrast. So when we see a big contrast, when someone says, hey, before I was broke and now I run a $2 million business, it obviously will capture a lot of attention. But you can do the personal post type without having to go that far if that's not even your story. So for example, Paulo's post over here was talking about how he genuinely failed his first business because he couldn't book any calls. Now he books 70 calls a month. And he explains what happened before and what happened after, and it's a picture of him and the result. So it's personal because we're beginning to tell a story about how Paulo operated. We're beginning to let people into Paulo's past. We also can do that even more sort of cleanly and talk less about the business with this post type over here. And this is the goal post type, and I really like this post type. I almost recommend everyone do this post type because we basically say, my mission is to help a number of people solve this goal. And what we're doing here is we're creating a post that people can rally behind, but also is related to yourself and is also related to your business. So it's like this perfect blend of personal and business together. So I've done this personal post type on several accounts and got awesome results. So I highly suggest you try it out. So you basically say, my mission is to do this. Here's how I'm going to do it. Do you know anyone that's open to joining me on this mission? And by doing it, we actually even might generate some leads too. So again, what we're trying to do is tell a story, help people connect with us either to our personal lives or to our business lives, and help people understand who we are as a real human being. Now, finally, I think this is the one you've been waiting for. This is the post type that generates leads really quickly, and it's the lead magnet post type. Now, we've run around 200, maybe 300 lead magnet posts on our time on LinkedIn across our account and multiple other accounts. We're probably running around 10 to 20 per week. So we have loads of data on what's working and what's not working. But to summarize for everyone here that might not understand, a lead magnet post is when you give away a valuable resource and you ask people to comment or connect in order to access that resource. Now, when we do this, what happens is two things happen. We explode our visibility and we get loads and loads of impressions. And two, what's really awesome is we get a lot of people asking for the resource and we're actually delivering it to them in the DMs. So now we have a one-on-one conversation with people inside the DMs where we can give them the resource and we can have a conversation about their pain points or about their goals and then try to book them into a call. So there are multiple types of lead magnets you can give away. And one of the most simplest ones is a long form guide. And it says, here's how I booked in 268 calls in the last 90 days with lead magnets. Get the 16-page playbook for free. We talk about some story. We explain to people what you're going to get in the lead magnet, which is a value stack. We tell people what they need to do to access it, and then we show them the resource. And as a result, we end up getting huge numbers of comments, huge numbers of likes, and huge numbers of impressions. So what we're doing here is we're ultimately hacking the algorithm by getting people to comment for something, which feeds the algorithm, which gets us more impressions, and then we give away this resource in the back end. Now, I recommend for most of my clients that we should be posting one lead magnet per week because we want to be maximizing its effect. We want to be creating a halo effect from that lead magnet post onto all our other posts as well. And lead magnets don't have to just be long form guides. They can be repurposed from what you have in your business. They can be cheat sheets, spreadsheets, calculators. They can be swipe files. They can be repurposed blogs. They can be email blogs. They can be a lot of things, as long as it's super valuable and something that your ICP would love to get their hands on. So that's it. These are the 5 post types that you need to be using on LinkedIn to generate leads consistently. Now, if you want our complete post library so that you can start doing these 5 post types in your business on your LinkedIn profile, you can scroll down below. You can get the post templates, hook templates, you can get swipe files, the lead magnet kit. You can get pretty much everything you need to get these 5 post types at least moving in your profile, and that's all down below in my mini course. Now, if you want to dramatically speed up your time to results on LinkedIn, you can book a one-on-one call with me, and on this call we'll basically assess if you're a good fit to work one-on-one with me, and we will basically build you a pipeline that books in anything from 15 to 30 calls per month from LinkedIn for your business. Or finally, you can watch this video next where I show you how we turn these posts into booked calls.